Hello, this is Goku, 4071, back with a pitch for Back to the Future remake, reboot, or reimagining, and or sequel. And I say that because, first of all, this is a video response to BK Critic's thing, to what he would do if he ever got to reboot Back to the Future. So go watch BK Critic's video before you watch mine, just so you have some reference. If you don't want to watch his video for some reason, I don't know why, he does great videos, I like him, you don't really need to know. This also will have some spoilers to Back to the Future if you've never seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled. If you've never seen Back to the Future, I'm sorry for you. I really do feel sorry for you, and I don't know how you can live with yourself. But for some strange reason, if you've never seen the movie, then don't watch this video if you don't want to be spoiled. But you probably have already been spoiled, so I'm probably just wasting my breath. But yes, definitely go see BK Critic's video. I will try to do a link in it. And yeah, go watch BK Critic's video first, if you can, if you want to. Go watch it. I'm telling you, go watch it. And I don't want to do, and this is not about what I would do if I reimagined it, or whatever. If I reimagined it, essentially I would do almost the same thing, but the only difference I would do, I'll get to that later, but essentially this is a sequel and a reboot. How can I do both at the same time? I'll get into that. So let's get into what I would do. Now, first of all, BK Critic's video was more about casting and less about plot. This is more about plot and probably got no cast in it. So, let's begin. And first of all, the movie would be set in the time 2015, I think it was, or 2000, I don't remember what it was, but in Back to the Future 2, they go to the future. And I loved that scene back when I was a kid. And that was that's my all-time favorite Back to the Future movie is 2. That part of the movie where they go to the future, I always loved it. And I always loved their version of the future. And I think that if they ever rebooted Back to the Future, that's what I would do. I would make the beginning of the movie be that future. Make it about that time. Set in that time, and we get a good chunk of the movie, about another third of the movie being about that time. Now, if I ever did just a straight reboot, not connecting it to the old films, it was basically the first film done again. It would be placed in modern time, but they would be going back to 1985. Obviously, the future would look like today, not like the future from Back to the Future 2, but that's the biggest thing I would do, is I would just bring them back to 1985, and I did say that in a comment in BK Critic's video, but that's what I would do, because it would be reminiscent, and people who had seen the original would go, oh, cool, they're doing it in the time of the first film, and this is just something I would want to do, because I'm a fan, and being a fan, I would love them to do that if they ever did that, but as I said, I want them to reboot and sequel, not just reboot. So let me get back to the video. Now, the big question that I still haven't figured out, and if anybody can come up with an interesting idea to solve this problem, is who is the centric genius? Who is the guy who invents the time machine? And this is an overworking problem, because I've come up with 2 solutions. Unfortunately, only one works, and I don't know if they would ever be able to do this idea. Make it Marty. Make Marty continue Doc's thing. He's now an adult, and instead of going through his path that he was going to go through, he became Doc, essentially. He studied physicists, and he kind of figured out how to make a time machine. That works, and I like that. But are we going to be able to get Marty for the movie? The actor who played Marty. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. If we could get him, I'd love that. Do it. I think it's great. But if we can't, then the other idea I came up with, either a colleague, a friend, or just some random guy who continued Doc's work. and continue going on, and he invented a time machine because ultimately it had to be somebody connected to Doc in some way, because because the time machine would absolutely be the DeLorean. I would never reboot or remake it without the DeLorean, because that's so reminiscent of it, and I love the DeLorean. I thought it was a great idea. I want a DeLorean just because of that movie. I'm a big fanboy because of that. So it'd have to be the DeLorean, and it'd have to be the flux capacitor, so you'd have to have it some relation to Doc, because this is essentially a sequel. This is continuing it. So once we got everything set up, we got our new kid, which our new kid is brand new. Most of the cast would be brand new. This is going to be a reboot or a reimagining in some sense, but it's not the same movie as the first one. And I bring up movies like The Next Karate Kid as an example. Not say it's a good movie. I don't know. I enjoy it, but not say it's a good movie. But it's a good example of what I wanted to do, is make this a sequel, but at the same time, also make this like it's a standalone film. You don't have to see Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3 to understand what's going on. Everything is explained to you. How time travel works, why they're time traveling. The only expend belief kind of thing is the future you start out in the movie, but that's because it's an homage to number 2, and it's an homage to the series as a whole, and you want to keep it in that world. That's what I want to do. I want to keep it in that world, in that timeline. And that's ultimately why I decided to go that route. In my workings of, if I ever did it, what I would do. So we set up the time, and we set up our main character now. Now, fundamentally, the movie is still the same as 1. We have our hero, whoever his name is, has to go back to accidentally goes back to the past for some reason, and when he's in the past, he messes up. And in this, it's very interesting, because who does he meet? Who helps him out? Yet again, if Marty's available, I would have Marty, but we don't know if Marty will even be available, so I don't know who'd help him out. But once you figure that out, he goes to 1985. And the reason why is because that's when the first film was made, and it'd be kind of cool to kind of do an homage and kind of work that into the film and make it about his parents, because this is like 30 years in the future or something, so it's very realistic that his parents grew up in this time, and he can meet his parents, and now he has to help his parents get back together because of something he did. Now make it different, make it original. The first film was all about them going to the spring form and the song they were singing, and it was very reminiscent of that time. And this film would not be about his parents in high school. It could be his parents in high school, but it would be a different setup, a different thing. This is 1985. We can do so much. We could do so much with 1985. It's a time of movies, and it was a big time for this entire industry. So you could do something with movies or something along that line. I don't know exactly what you could do, but you could do a lot with it. And it's definitely set the movie in Hill Valley. Hill Valley is part of the franchise. We gotta have it in Hill Valley. And we can do so much, and it could be related to Marty, absolutely, in some way. And we can have it about that, too. And there's so much you could do with it. Now, I don't have much more than that, other than the fact that there's a dilemma. He has to get his parents back together, or he has to do something to refix the timeline by the end of the film, and he goes back to his own time. And this could lead into a sequel, or this could be a standalone film, whatever. But essentially, this is what I would do. Now, go watch BK Critic's videos. He does very, very good videos. I definitely want to give him a shout out in this video. And I definitely want you to go see his videos and definitely see what he would do in Back to the Future. It's more casting, and his is more based around them rebooting it and using the same character from the first film. This is not a reboot, or this is a sequel reboot. Thus, it still is in the same world, and you're not changing things. You're basically just adding to, and that's what I would love them to do. Yeah. Also, expect in the near future for me to do one of these on Jurassic Park. I have ideas for what I would like them to do with Jurassic Park. Please leave a comment or a video response if you have any suggestions on videos I may be able to do in the future. Go ahead. That can consist of what I would do with a certain film franchise. If I've seen it, if I have ideas, I will definitely do that. I love doing these, even though they're not very watched. I do a lot of these, and I like doing them, and I think they're fun to do. And if you're not going to watch them, that's not going to stop me from doing them, because I enjoy doing this. Reviews of certain things, games, books are kind of hard for me to do reviews because they take so long to do. And movies, if I get a hold of the material, movies are fine. And a pilot for a TV show, doesn't matter what TV show, I will always do those if I have the ability. So yes, but leave a comment about what you think about this video. And just tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right. I like to hear from you. I do these videos partially because I do like to hear from you, and I do want to know what you think. So please leave a comment or a video response. Tell me what you think about this video. So yes, this is Goku 471. See you next time. YouTube.